Welcome back to the C.L. Bryant Show. This is Mike Woods sitting in for C.L. Bryant in the studio with Michelle. It is almost Christmas, and I'm ready. But speaking of Christmas
and Christmas presents
and
from
Christmas
the president,
presents, yes, the president earlier in the week pardoned another 78 people, commuted another 153 sentences, and which now his clemency grants. Just to give you a comparison, he now has pardoned almost 1,200 people during his 8 years.
But, you know, when you say pardoned 1,200 people, does it tell you the kind of crimes that they committed?
Well,
are they all little old ladies that...
The drugs, alcohol, assorted and sundry things. But the interesting thing, Michelle, you know, the terrible president of George W. Bush that the Obama administration just pounded on constantly, you know how many people he pardoned during his 8 years?
I have no idea.
200.
And
so
this is 1,200?
This is 1,200.
Well,
so
you're known who your friends are. You know, Obama has a lot of friends that need pardoning from the legal system.
Bill Clinton, who got a lot of flack at the end for pardoning Mark Rich and others, he only pardoned 459. George Bush, 41, only pardoned 77.
So what are the 1,200? Do they give you names of these people?
No, they just say that he's granted more clemency than any other president since Lyndon B. Johnson. You know, it's the Democrats that keep letting all these folks out of jail. But anyway.
Well, you know, if they think the legal system is flawed, but I would like to see that he has to tell us who these people are, because it's like Al Capone would pardon all his friends if he was president.
Well, the new incoming attorney general is already very critical, said that Obama is using clemency for a large class of convicts, and he said it's just a power grab. But it's part of his legacy, the paper goes on to state, for criminal justice reform. So I guess if that's your legacy, to let prisoners out of jail,
well,
so
you know,
be it.
We deal a lot with justice reform here because CL is a fellow with FreedomWorks, and we talk about the need to reform the justice system. And I think one of our guests the other day talked about quick and expedient justice, a quick trial, instead of all this drama that goes out. So we can understand and appreciate that. But all this shows us is a list of 1,200 people that he pardoned without telling us. There should be some criteria. You shouldn't just be able to pardon everybody that's in jail.
Well, that's one of the advantages of a presidential pardon. You don't need to explain it. You don't need an excuse.
But it sounds like a dictator. This is what Castro could do in Cuba.
Well, he's dead now.
I know, but there's got to be some oversight. He's not the dictator. He's just the president.
But once they've been pardoned, they're pardoned. And so as we go into the new year with President-elect Trump, I mean, he will have the same power of presidential pardon if he wants to use it. But
what do you think is going to happen, though? There are so many people around Hillary Clinton and her investigations, Cheryl Mills, Uba Abedin, Hillary Clinton herself, other staffers that I haven't mentioned. These are serious crimes that people are in prison right now for doing less than what she did. What do you think is going to happen there?
Well, there's two interesting arguments there. One is that if he was smart, he would go on and pardon Clinton and all of her aides. The problem with a pardon is it implies that they're guilty, and so
because she hasn't been convicted of any crimes.
Well,
yet. We're still under investigation.
Neither was Nixon, and Gerald Ford pardoned Nixon for any future prosecution after Nixon resigned as presidency. But you know.
Well, as long, you know, I would be satisfied if it's for pardoning for future. Doesn't mean that you're exempt from future prosecution. It means when the verdict comes in, you won't be going to the gas chamber. But we need to investigate this.
Well, but nobody's going to go through the process of a trial once if they've already been pardoned. Because what good, you know, that there is no ramifications of having such.
Then he shouldn't be able to do it. I mean, what there has to be. He's not a dictator. He was elected by the people and for the people. Well,
I don't know how to convince you otherwise, but I mean, unfortunately, presidential pardons, he can do what he wants and he can pardon anybody he wants, and there's nothing that can be done after that. I mean, it's just a way of life. But anyway, as we wrap up the show, you know, we are coming up on Christmas Eve tomorrow. And again, have enjoyed being in the studio this week. CL will be back when, Michelle?
He will be back next week, all week, every night, after Christmas, every night, right here. People are hoping to call in and ask him where he's been. He's supposed to send us pictures. He was with, in Palm Beach Monday night with Donald Trump and Steve Bannon. And so hopefully, but, speaking of Christmas, is Hillary expecting that to be a Christmas present from the president?
Well, I don't know, but I do know that her Christmas party was a bust. I was reading about that the other night, and they said it was more like a wake with a band.
Where was it?
It was in New York for all of her high dollar donors, and it's just been a continuing saga of poor Hillary. But anyway, and of course, we heard earlier in the week with Michelle Obama and Oprah that now that Trump's going to be our president, there is no hope left.
But yet the polls, the numbers, do they not realize that the American people felt hopeless under Obama's presidency? And what we've got, Republican governors, state houses, the Congress, the Senate. Is that a message to Obama?
They don't get it, Michelle, and I am thankful they don't get it, and I hope they never get it. But anyway.
Well, that's why they're trying to do new things to try to take a Republican leadership by saying we're gerrymandering things all the time.
As we wrap up, again, thanks to the armed services folks that are serving, thanks to the men and women in the police, and thanks to the listening audience. This is Mike Woods. We're signing off.
That don't bother me at all. Playing solitaire till dawn with a deck of 51. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Now don't tell me I've nothing to do.
Welcome back to the CL Bryant Show. This is Mike Woods sitting in for CL. It is Thursday evening, the 22nd of December, and Christmas is right around the corner. Michelle, this weekend, as we talked with Dr. Atkins earlier in the week and talked about the service in church, I had the privilege of doing the prayer of Thanksgiving. And as we wrap the show up, this time of the year, often we reflect on family and things we're thankful for. And I'm thankful for my wife and my kids and my grandchildren. I'm thankful for living in this great nation. I'm thankful for my church family and sometime friends who drive me crazy. This
Have you ever
includes
seen the movie
you.
Groundhog Day?
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me of that.
It's Groundhog Day. Well, I'm thankful this is the last show I have to do this week as well. But anyway, it's always this year. Oh, this year. That's even
right,
better.
Because next week CL's going to do all the shows, but we appreciate it.
Well, it's been fun, and hopefully everybody has a safe and happy holiday, and again, as we have been talking about we have Hanukkah coming up tomorrow night. We have Christmas coming up on Sunday.
That's right. So tell us about your church again at First Baptist.
We have the on Channel 21, 8 o'clock on Sunday morning. You can see the Shreveport Symphony and our First Baptist Church Choir sing.
And then
the service. Pastor Tim has Hanukkah service 7 o'clock Friday night at his church.
Of the Christian Center, so you can go to christiancenter.org.
Correct.
But it's 7 o'clock, and you get to hear a historical story.
and then again, our church will have Christmas Day services. We have a Christmas Eve service at 5 o'clock Christmas Eve, and then regular service Sunday at 10:30. And I'll be back in the saddle playing my bass guitar and on Christmas Day. So
Really? So that's your Christmas present, is playing the bass.
yes, yeah. So anyway, hope you have a great Christmas and a happy New Year. And again, thanks to the men and women that serve in our armed forces. Thanks to those that are in the police and fire department. We appreciate all that you do. And Michelle, I hope you have a Merry Christmas with your family and a Happy New Year. I know you have a son who's serving in the Coast Guard, and prayers go out to him. But it's been a fun year, and look forward to next year where we get to talk about our new president. This is Michael H. Woods signing off for the C.L. Bryant Show. Happy New Year and a Merry Christmas.
Still they march on down that dangerous road, fighting for us, carrying the heavy load. And I want to thank you from my heart to those who wear the uniform, for all you sacrificed to keep freedom alive. And to the families left behind, we'll stand by your side. And the bond